roasted knuckle of pork with some sauerkraut, a really traditional German dish, especially known in Bavaria or from the Oktoberfest. How you can make this recipe easy yourself at home, I will show you in this video, so stay on.
Hit it! That's what I'm talking about. Wait! Okay, now, from the beginning.
Hit it, boys.
The roasted pork knuckle, and we're going to do a really delicious sauerkraut with it. So the following ingredients we need for this delicious dish. Here we have 2 pork knuckles with the bone still inside. Then we need 3 tablespoons of salt. We need some spices. We have here 1 tablespoon of allspice, 4 or 5 bay leaves. We have 1 tablespoon of peppercorn and half a teaspoon of cloves. Then we need some vegetables. Here we have some leek. This is 1 piece of leek. We have 3 onions, a handful of parsley, 100 grams of celery, and we have 3 carrots. We're gonna start preparing our roasted knuckles. With the meat, we don't have to do anything for now. Here I got a big pot of water because the knuckles need to boil first for around 2 hours, and I'm gonna turn this on now so the water starts to boil. In the meantime, we're gonna chop our vegetables. You don't have to chop them very fine. The veggies are just to give our broth later a really nice flavor to it. And it's just important that all the veggies you use, you wash them properly. Especially leek normally contains a lot of sand, so make sure to wash it properly so there's no sand in your meal. So we're really just gonna chop everything into big dices. Like I said, it doesn't have to be small dices. It's just for the flavor later. La Cocina is a cookery school based in Hamburg and Hanover, and we chefs just love to show people how to do recipes, show you little tricks, how to make things easier. And if you would like to see more traditional German dishes, just leave me a comment, let me know what kind of dishes you would like to see, and in one of the next videos I'm gonna show you them. Our water is almost boiling, and now we're gonna just put our pork knuckles into the water. Just as they are, you don't have to do anything. We're gonna put our chopped veggies on top, like I said. After you boiled the knuckles, we're gonna have a really, really nice broth out of it. So don't throw it away. You can use it for making a soup. You can use it for making a sauce. We're gonna take later, after this has boiled for like 1.5 hours, we're gonna take almost half a liter of the liquid and use that to flavor our sauerkraut later with it. So don't throw it away. It's very delicious, and you can use the broth, like I said, for different things. Now we also give our parsley on top. We give our spices into it and our salt. And this is gonna boil now for almost 2 hours, 2 hours and maybe a bit, not on really, really high temperature. We're just gonna let it simmer. So yeah, just simmering. And then in about 1.5 hours, we're gonna start with our sauerkraut. Our pork knuckles are still cooking, and this is the perfect time now to start with our sauerkraut. The sauerkraut needs around 35 minutes till it's finished. Our pork knuckles are now since 1.5 hours in the water, so in around half an hour I'm gonna take them out of the water. And the longer the sauerkraut sits, the better it actually gets. So you can perfectly prepare it the day before, just reheat it the next day. You can make a bigger portion, you can freeze it, so you always have some nice sauerkraut at home. And for the sauerkraut, we need following ingredients. Here we have 800 grams of tinned sauerkraut. We need 2 onions. We need around 4 tablespoons of honey. We need 200 grams of bacon. Then here we have 500 milliliters of the broth of the knuckles, the water where they're boiling in. And then we need some spices again. Here we have again allspices, we have bay leaves, we have peppercorns, we have caraway seeds, and we have some cloves, everything like a tablespoon of. And then to season it, we need some salt and pepper. We're gonna start with frying our bacon. The bacon bits should become crispy, and later we're gonna top it, or we're gonna sprinkle them on our sauerkraut. Important, don't add any fat. The bacon will get so much fat out of it, so you really don't need any additional fat. While this is frying, I'm gonna chop our onions. Because it's gonna boil a long time, you can just cut the onions in nice slices. Just slice them thinly, and that's all you have to do. Sauerkraut is the perfect addition to any hearty meat dish which is a little bit fatty, because the sourness of the sauerkraut takes away the edge of the fat, so it's a perfect combination. Our bacon bits are now really nice and crispy, and we're just gonna take them out of the pan. Try to leave the fat in the pan, because the same fat we're gonna use now to fry our onions in. So don't add any fat, because the pork knuckles are fat enough. It's very hearty meat, so you don't need to add more fat to it. So you can see there's still a nice film of fat in the pan. And here I'm just gonna continue frying my onions till they are nicely colored and soften up a little bit. You can already add a pinch of salt, because the salt makes that water comes out of the onions, and so they become softer quicker. Like you can see, there's a bunch of herbs we want to put later into our sauerkraut. And if you would put the peppercorns, the allspices, the bay leaves, and everything just like that into it, later someone would bite onto them, and that's not very nice. So a little trick. I got here like a little sieve, which normally you can use for making tea or something. And you just put all your spices in here, and then you can boil them in there, take them out later, and so you get the flavor of the spices, but no one will bite onto a bit of bay leaf or anything. The caraway seeds are perfect for cabbage. Normally in every German cabbage dish, you put a little bit of caraway seeds. They just help with the digestion of the cabbage, and so the dish becomes much more, lighter and, like I said, easier to digest. So you put everything into here, close it, and later we can add this into our pan. Our onions are now slightly caramelized. You don't want them to become too brown, just a nice touch in the pan. And now we can add all our other ingredients. We add the sauerkraut and our delicious broth, which has a lot of flavor already in it. Now I'm gonna go with the temperature lower. I really just want it to simmer. And what is really important, because it's called sauerkraut, but as it is quite sour. You need something to take a little bit the edge of the sourness away. You can use normal normal sugar. I'm going to use a little bit honey, but you can also use maple syrup, anything that sweetens it up a little bit, and it will take away the sour edge. It will still taste a little bit sour, but not uncomfortable sour, just a little edge. Just takes the edge off. Now we can season it with some salt and pepper. Pepper, actually we don't need pepper because we already have peppercorns in here. And now I'm just going to give this into here. Just mix it a little bit under. Now I'm going to put the lid on top, stir it from while to while so it doesn't burn, and now it can simmer for 35 minutes and then it's ready. Our knuckle of pork did boil now for 2 hours. They're quite big, so I let them boil for 2.5 hours actually. You can see that they're ready if the bone is showing off. You can see it's super hot, but I will show you. You can see the bone here. That means they are done. And now we're just going to put them on a baking tray because they're going to go in the oven to crisp up. In German, you would call the boiled, this is actually already a meal. This is called Eisbein in German. You can serve it like this. I prefer the crispy version, if I'm honest. So that's the one I show you today. So we're going to take our knuckles out. And like I mentioned before, this broth is delicious now. You can use it as a soup. There's so much flavor in it. So please don't throw it away. It would be really a shame. You can see the color. The knuckle gave that taste in here. All the veggies. So this is a really delicious broth. So now we're going to take a knife and just scissor in the fat. You just make like little squares. So in the oven, the skin will crisp up really nicely. I don't have to make any pressure. The knife just cuts through. As you can see, just scissor it a little bit. And you can see here the bone. So it's really, really juicy and tender. And the same we do with the second one. I preheated our oven already to 220 degrees. And now we're going to put the knuckles in till they're nice and crispy, which will take around 20-25 minutes. Our sauerkraut is already done and is just keeping warm in the pan. And then we are ready to taste it. Okay, I just took out our knuckles from the oven and you can hear how crispy and nice they are. This is a huge portion. Normally in Germany here, a man who can eat quite well, maybe he can manage it on his own. I think a lady would share this. So this is actually enough for 4 people. Our sauerkraut is now warm and we're gonna dish it up now. So we take some of our warm sauerkraut, put it here on our plate. It's important that the liquid just evaporates, so it shouldn't be soggy. You know, it should be more like dry. Then you can sprinkle a little bit of our bacon bits on top. This is super hot, so just be careful. Now we take a nice knuckle of pork. And ready is our traditional German dish. Okay, now we're gonna try our knuckle. It's so huge, you don't know where to start, but look, it's really juicy meat. It just falls off the bone. And I'm gonna try a little piece with some of our sauerkraut. Really good. If you like this video, subscribe to our channel, follow us on Instagram and Facebook, and write me in the comments if you would like to see more videos in English, what kind of recipes you're interested in seeing. So thank you for watching. I'm Celia from La Cocina. See you next time. Bye.